Hey everyone. So procrastination is a really interesting topic to discuss because it shows up in so many different areas of our lives, and it really stops you from reaching goals. It really stops you from reaching your own potential, and it can really hold you back in other ways as well. It can send really self-defeating and a lot of the time really harsh messages to yourself around your self-worth, in terms of how accomplished you can be. It also is very mystifying as well. It can make you feel like you have no control over your environment or your actions. And so I encourage you to look at procrastination as a symptom of an underlying cause. And I also challenge you to view it as not something particularly related to mindset. Mindset can help overcome procrastination. Grit can help overcome procrastination, but there's always going to be an underlying issue that's preventing you from showing up and doing the task that you're trying to do. So it's really important to understand, is your procrastination based on the fact that you might not have the skills to do the task? And if that's the case, you need to learn the skills to do the task. But a lot of the time with the clients that I see, they know how to do the task. It's their job a lot of the time, or it's part of their job. So Brainspotting is particularly effective at isolating the root cause and processing that. And most of the time it's not what you think it's going to be. It's going to be some earlier event that you've experienced in life that's kind of presented this piece of information into your body, into your brain, which comes up when you're faced with that task. Because we don't procrastinate with everything. It's usually fairly specific. There's certain elements of our work, or there's certain elements of our life that we're putting off. So the example of exercise. I want to exercise more, or I want to eat better. Well, when we use brain spotting to go into that, there's going to be a lot of emotional material behind that, because it's a very kind of emotional kind of task. So if you're able to view it as such, then you might be quite surprised at the outcome you get. A lot of the time I'm saying, I had this early experience which feels very unrelated to why I'm not able to do that. But that's actually how the body works, and that's how the body processes these traumatic events. Is they're not clear, they're not linear, they're not very rational a lot of the time. They're really kind of obscure and fairly abstract. It's just that the body somehow and the mind somehow kind of aligns that task with that previous experience. And depending on the nature of the experience, then it might actually show up in all different areas of your life under different guises. Sometimes it's going to show up as procrastination, sometimes it's going to show up as anxiety, sometimes it's going to show up as kind of a soothing activity. But it will always be in response to something. So a way that a singular traumatic event early in your life might show up at home when you're by yourself and you're doing tasks which stimulate some type of response which is reminiscent of that event, might show up as procrastination. In a public situation, it might show up as shame or embarrassment. And that might lead to some type of soothing activity like eating or drinking, or kind of some other body-based kind of response to mitigate that feeling, like hair pulling or scratching. And then maybe it also shows up with our partners, in the sense that anxiety is triggered through something that our partner says, but our response to that will be different. Maybe that response will be anger and maybe a bit of denial. And maybe there'll be some element of confrontation. So this really speaks to how we respond to our environment. So how does procrastination show up for you? And maybe where do you think it comes from? And I really encourage you, don't just use mindset alone, because it's usually not all about mindset. And there's so much talk about mindset is everything. I just want to say that mindset is not everything. Mindset does play a really crucial and important role in how we develop and how we grow, but it's not the be all and end all. Okay, so if you are punishing yourself with this kind of dogma around mindset's everything and I'm in control and I'm the one that decides, then this is going to land you in a little bit of hot water when you're trying to assess something which could have its roots in an early experience of trauma. If you'd like to know more, please send me a message. Bye.